I think as far as layout is concerned, there's probably somewhat infinite amount of different ways that you might choose to lay this out. I guess I'm just thinking about it as I go. I kind of generally think, input on the left and output on the right, but what's the purpose of this board, Maybe the input, this is going to come, the board's going to sit one way inside of a box, and that input's going to be up here. Maybe it is just a test board like this, and you want some kind of logical flow to this that makes sense to you. So maybe you say, well, I'm going to put this up here like this, and I'm going to have everything flow down from there. Whatever works good for you. The boards are cheap enough that, I think you've got room. A lot of times I say in different videos that maybe the reason an objective to doing this when you're doing this is to shoot for a smaller size, just for practice, because it's always good to try to cram as much into one spot space as you can. But if you're making a practice board, reach out, spread out a little bit. All the board houses, PCB Way, PCB or JLC PCB, Seed Studios, Osh Park, all of the guys out there, they all seem to be around about, I don't know, JLC PCB is like $2, Seed Studios is $4. PCB Way, they're about the same. And they all charge about $18, $19, $20 or something for shipping. So you're going to spend, let's say, $25, and you're going to get 10 boards up to 100 by 100 millimeters. So that's what I've been doing for a lot of things. I just go ahead and pay the money and spread the whole thing out all over the place and make it real easy to see if you want. Another thing that I do is I'll find a bunch of little labs like this and bring them into one PCB. So you can import in actually other PCB news into one PCB new, if that makes sense. You can make a bunch of smaller boards and bring them in here, or you can just make them all in the same schematic, however you want to work it. But I will recommend, if you are going to make them all on one board, make sure that you name things differently, because once you bring them in, it will try to connect them. So, for example, say that you wanted to have a ground plane, or you're just going to call, negative G and D, like you would. And so you go ahead and you do that. Now it's going to try to connect the grounds of all of them together. And while that in itself might not be a bad thing, it's not going to make your circuit not work exactly. If you're doing testing on certain things, it might give you different feedback based upon, oh, that's R1. Based upon whatever, the different ground planes. So say you got 5 or 6 on here, say GND underscore 1, GND underscore 2, and you do that back over in your schematic, and then things will shake out okay. And the same thing with test points. Don't name them test point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, rename everything. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and stop talking and get this thing fixed up here, and be right back. What I've done here, what you might have caught on the fast motion here, was that I grabbed everything and I moved it a little bit. And what I was doing was getting this, since this seems to be a nice central figure right here, and we got a line right down the middle of it, I moved it right down the center of these bold lines, so then I could somewhat easy enough count off the lines here for symmetry for all this stuff. And so I can put this here in that corner, this in this corner, and then these are all flowing straight down. This run right into here. So again, visually, you're getting the look of the multivibrator from the diagram. So the same thing you saw in the diagram, you're seeing right here. We're seeing the resistor come down, it flows in to the LED right here. And I'll probably want to move this around a little bit too. but try to get it visually explanatory, especially in these practice test circuits. You don't want to try to cram everything in there horribly too tight like you would with a manufactured PCB and not understand what's going on. So now I'm just centering those up there. Those look okay. The transistors are not. There we go, that's better. I'm not sure if that's exactly how I want them to be right now. So anyways, I'm going to take a look at this for a little bit more, see if everything's kind of okay where I want it, and then we'll start routing things together. I will also, though, come up here and so watch down here, not the X and Y, but the DX and DY here. So you come up here somewhere and you hit spacebar and your DX and DY will go to 0. Then I can come down here into this corner and I can see it's going to be 54 by 50. And that is, if you look over here, that's in millimeters. Trying to decide, you know, is this going to be something that's going to be smaller? Am I want to shrink this down and send it to Osh Park? Or do I just want to go ahead and bite the bullet and either put this on a big 100 by 100 or do it on 60 by 60 and just pay the 100 by 100 price anyways? All right, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and pull this thing apart a little bit more because I would like this to run down straight, but then have the capacitor over here, as you see in these schematics like this. So it comes down, and this is going to feed straight into the transistor. Now our transistor is not going to be oriented the proper way because it's the SOT23, but logically we can still think that this runs straight into it. And then I want to have the capacitor just off to the side, and then this one right there. So I need more space right here, and I want this capacitor between here, and I want this and this to run right down into that, you see? Now, the reason I'm considering that further is because I measured it out, and again, it's 54 by 50, so I don't want to cram it in any tighter. Now, I could make it smaller, but here's what's going to happen. It's going to be, I'm not going to get it down to 1 inch, so it's probably going to be something like maybe 2 inches by 2 inches. So then that's going to cost me like $18 or something like that at Osh Park. And I'll get 3 of them. Well, I spend a little bit more, $24, $25. I can go 100 by 100. Again, I could go 60 by 60, but why? You know, just let's use the whole board if I want, and then spread this stuff out a little bit more. Then the other thing that goes into this that maybe is not something that you guys would be concerned about is it's always nice to have practice boards around for soldering. So if anybody happens to be around and they want to practice some surface mount stuff, then you just say, oh, here you go. Here's a handful of old boards that you can practice with. So I'm going to go ahead and move these over to that line there. I'll put this roughly, whoa, in line with all of that there. Then this and this. Oh, I need even more space. Let's mess around with this a little bit more. I could go ahead and just move these into here like so. That's okay. There we go. What's this? So if I start way over here, zero that out, bring it all the way over to here. Wow, that's still 67 by 55. So I've got lots of room to go. Boy, yeah. I mean, you see, I find myself trying to conserve and trying to save, or put it this way, not be wasteful, but it's irrelevant. You know, I'm going to spend $25 on this no matter what size it is, under 100, or I'm going to smash it down into something that's less than a couple inches to try to make it cost effective to send it to Osh Park. So I might as well spread out, and then if I want, I can leave myself notes all over the place. One thing I was thinking about doing, except I just didn't really want to go through the effort right now, is I could draw or acquire this schematic. I did this with, I've got some footprints in here for my logo, the little swishy little shape thingamabob. And you just transparent out the background, and then you could overlay this schematic right on top on the silk screen, so you could very visually see what's going on. I don't really feel like doing that with this one, but you could. So I'm going to grab this stuff here, and I'll move this out a little bit more. Move this out a little bit more. What are we? A few away from that bold line right there. That gets the cap in there. This is running here. Let's move that. Uh-oh. If you swipe backwards, if you swipe forward, see how I don't get anything? I would have to select the entire thing. If you swipe backwards, you can just get a corner of it and it will select the whole thing. That's kind of an easy way to deal with this. I am still more fond of the old way, where you just hover over anything and you hit M for move. But right now, if I happen to click that, but I hover over this and say, hey, I want to move that, oh, I'm still up there on that diode, which, whatever, you know, you get used to it. Now I'm looking at this, and this test point 3, I forgot that 3 and 4 are actually going to be, they are test points that I could check, but I'm definitely going to have a clip-on actual test point right here rather than just leave it be a hole, because this is going to be an output. So I'm thinking an output would be more on the edge of the board, you see? So I'll put those right here, and then I can label, you know, output 1, output 2 right here. Yeah. All right. I think I'm okay with this. So let's go ahead and move on to wiring the thing. Now, if you want, you could draw your edge cuts now, the actual board shape. It's sort of a points on either side. You know, sometimes you might want to, probably more often than not, you want to route everything first, get everything smashed in there, change your mind a few times, reroute everything again a few more times, and then when you're finally done, do the edge cuts. Or other times, maybe you go, well, you know, I do want to try to fit this within 1 inch or 2 inch, or you have a size that you need to fit it to, or you actually have a specific shape from the CAD side of the company. It says, you know, hey, this box is a little trapezoidal. Here's your dimensions. You want to draw that first, and you need to stay inside of that. So I might go ahead and I think I'll route it first and I'll do it afterwards, because I'm looking at this going, you know what? I could make this kind of crazy shaped. I could make it kind of over and down and over, and, you know, what is this? Kind of like a Space Invaders looking thing. I could do that, because $25 either way, right? Might as well make it interesting. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Sometimes the things that will route through like this, like route through test points, in a way, I mean, I guess it's fine, but see, this is supposed to go from here down to these here. And if something were to happen to that test point, this pad, I feel like that is bad form to have this be your actual path of conduction. So I would rather have it go down to here, and then the test point, just like you would imagine, would come off from that line. So I'll get to that in a second. So we'll come down here. Now, do I want to bring this down to here and then just go next, next, and next, or do I want to go to each one? You make the call there. You know, this is not very much power, so it's not that big of a deal. I could do that for cleanliness, you know, just kind of wire them together. Again, though, if any one of these things has a problem, then you've just broke your entire circuit. So then it might be better to run to each, kind of like star grounding, but with your power side. Okay, and then see here, this, I don't want to run the ground to the test point and down. I am going to run this. Where does it want me to send this? All the way around there? I'll get to that in a minute. Damn, I already screwed myself over right off the bat. We could shoot it down to the bottom. We could have the bottom be a ground plane and then get down there. Yeah, so we'll do with that in a second. So then bring this over to there. Bring this over to here. Do you see what I'm talking about? And then this capacitor, that test point goes right there. This one goes here. This, oh boy, this is going to be tough. Oh, it's going to go right through that test point no matter what. Oh, here we go. Should I do it this way? Decisions. Let's think about that one for a second. So I kind of try to get all the obvious stuff out of the way first. This is going to the base, so that one's an easy one to get to on this side. So I'll bring that down, bring that right into there, and then I'll take the test point from here, and then the same thing from this diode, I will bring that into here, not into the test point. And then, let's see, these guys here, this one, are they upside down? Jump. Oh, yeah. I see what's going on here. So then these, I'm going to bring that to there. I'm going to bring this one to there. And yeah, that seems fine. Test point up to there. Okay. And then this one there. You see? Not running the main power through your test points. Any main wire. So then here, this one I can do. We're going to bring that over to there. And then this one is going to have to go underneath. Should we do it through? Yeah, let's just here, we'll just go off here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around. How about here is about as good as anywhere. Hit V for via. Oh, what the butt? Why did it do that right at the last minute? Go here again, try that. Go here, bring it up here. V, piss. Okay, whatever, screw you. Oh, wait. I don't want it that close. Okay, how about right there? And then we'll run underneath. Now I'm drawing a pretty big line across my board, and that's something that I kind of want to be a little bit mindful of, because if I have a line, I can't really move my mouse too much, but if I have a line all the way across here on the bottom and this big red line right here, that's a wall. There's no over and under on either side there on a two-layer board. So you might consider like this, say, okay, well, I'm over it. And just when you get over it, pop up here and then go the rest of the way, rather than draw green all the way across. So then if I need to come down through here and hop under something, I can hop under this. But if I got that green and a red right here, I'm sort of screwed, and I got to go all the way around the barn. All right. Oh, yeah. So we can come over here and do the same thing we did on the other side. Make sure you're on your right layer. Page up, page down. You see it changing right here? Page up, page down. Go here, and we'll bring this to here. We'll go here and bring that to there. And the test point comes up off of that. Then, oh, these are backwards. What the crap? 5 and 4. Yeah. Wait, this one should be. It's the way I had it on the other one. Was here, let's zoom out here. Yeah, the diode jumper was on the inside. Let's grab that and move that in. Oopsie. 2.5 dots. About there like that. Okay. Do that again. Go here down to there. Go down from here down to there. Jump up to here. Then this guy can go right to there, and him dodge around just like we did over on the other side. Okay, looking pretty good. Then same deal there. Now this one, we're gonna have to jump around a bit. Let's bring that down. Oh no, I can't get in the right way that I want. That'll be okay. There we go. Jump off of that. And then we're almost done. So I got my ground. I want this to tie into these. Ultimately, it's going to be okay because we'll flood the thing. Yeah, we'll do both sides ground. We'll flood the bottom and the top ground. So I'll just take this and I'll page down. So I'm on the bottom layer. It's through hole. So I can just blast all the way down here. And what do I want to do? I want to, how about if I pop up right about here. Come in. And then this one right here. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. I could try to do some kind of common ground, whether you want to call it star grounding or not. But like I said, if I flood the whole thing, then no big deal. We're going to end up with ground all over the place. So it looks good. Looks good. I think we're done there. So let's go ahead and go to our edge cut layers now and draw a box around this. So I'm going to change my grid. No, I think we're good. Leave yourself plenty of room. Again, I've got lots of room to work with here. So I think I'll go off of this kind of bold line up here probably. And I don't know, let's start right smack in the middle. Uh-oh. What am I doing? Edge cuts. Oh, I got to do that. Okay. So go here, down like that. Should I just go all the way down? Should I do interesting stuff? What should I do? Should I come in here like this? Art. Oh, should I make this symmetric or do I want to make it weirdo shape? I don't know if weirdo shape is cool or not here. It just... No, that's going to look like shit. Okay, I can't do that. Okay. God damn it. Okay, so we're going to go with some symmetry here. So to do that, then I think I'm just going to make it just a big kind of octagon, sort of lopsided. So we'll start right here in this corner. Okay, so there's a reason for this. That I'm going to make it square, and then I'm going to use this as a guideline and go between lines. Okay, so there we go. Get up to there, go to there. Okay, so that'll be the rough shape. And snap over that, hit 0, zeroing out my dx dy, and we're 55 by 97. Good. So about half a board we got. So then we'll go and start lopping the corners off. So if I were to lop a corner off here, I could just go, how about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, and 1, 2, 3, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that'll work out okay, you see? And then the same thing, hopefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. So then I'll come in here. If you click on the lines, then you can grab the endpoints and move them. Clicky, bring it back. Yeah, that looks good. Make sure you click first, drag down, snap. Oh my God. I stared at it for a little bit and I don't like it. I don't like it. It was a lot of work to make an interesting shape. I think I'd rather have a rectangle with just rounded corners and call it a day. Then I think next I will go ahead and flood it. I've got some words to add in here like outputs, power input or whatever I want to write there. Name, logo, you know, something like that. Date, revision number. But I'll go ahead and flood it right now. But watch this. So when you go add fill zone, as soon as you click up here, remember you don't have to worry about the corners. You just click up here. It's going to ask you, uh-oh, that's not good. Okay, so get over on your copper layer and then hit the fill. And then it's going to pop up and say, what net did you want to put this on? And so the ground is in here, known as net dash this, right? Except that doesn't make very much sense. So what I want to do is save this. Should have saved it a while ago, by the way. And then get back to here and then name your ground. Name any net. Maybe name all your nets, but name any net that you need it to be, or what it's going to make it a lot easier to work with. So over here, we'll grab a net name, and you don't have to be quite right on it because it's going to have you move it around anyways. So there is my ground net, and that should be fine for everything all over the place that I need it for. Now you save this, and of course you've got to re-export, regenerate your net list, which, you know, as long as I didn't change anything terribly too much, it shouldn't screw up and it should just update. So I'll come back to PCB new, and if I read this, here, I'll zoom in here. If I read net list, keep, nothing's going to change. So that's fine. If I was bringing in new footprints, if they're going to swap this one out for another one, yeah, of course, you know, pick the right button. Hit this, say yes, cross your fingers. Always scroll down here to make sure that nothing bad happened. I can close this. Look, we got G and D over here and down there and all over that trace right there, the vias. Excellent. Okay, so then you can come, sorry, I don't want to make you throw up. Okay, so then you can come back here and grab your fill and start up here in the corner. Oh, God damn it. Pick that, pick the front copper layer, hit fill, and then it'll come up and say, what do you want to use? Well, I want to use ground. I want this filled zone to be all ground. The same if you wanted it for power, or if you want to divide it up for, you know, high side, low side, or this and that thing, whatever you want to do. So you hit here and go down to roughly this corner, roughly that. Middle mouse is, hold down middle mouse, that's pan. And then there's my filled zone. But you see, this is cool. I'm glad this happened. There's a whole bunch here that was missed, but I'm not going to worry about this because here's what's happening is all of this trace was around here, and this fill, it's just like the color fill. It's probably the same programming of Microsoft Paint. You know, you're trying to fill in an area, but it's closed off, so it can't get there. I could make another fill zone all around here and fill it, but that we don't have to care about that because we're going to fill the back. And how is that going to work? Well, help. So watch. So I pick this. I'll say that's going to be ground also. And connect it around. Okay. And now the ground is all filled in. But if I go back to the front copper, it's still not filled in. Well, why? Not. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to add some vias here. And so if I just add even just a via right there, you see that? Now what'll happen is the ground from the bottom will leak in through that little hole and will fill in probably this whole area here, but it won't make its way out to here. Watch. Now, remember this. Control B and B. So if I hit Control B, it'll unfill. If I hit B, it will refill everything. And now we got that spot filled, right? So that's kind of cool. So you hit your vias and then just sort of boink, boink, boink. It's always good to via stitch the crap out of things. Well, always is a weird word, isn't it? And then I could do the same thing up here. I do this lately without any kind of real rhyme or reason because I watch videos and it says, hey, it's good to do some via stitching in here because if you have any signal traces, then you keep your ground path, your return path short, but I don't really have any signal paths. But again, just like that whole episode of like making funny shapes and rounding corners, I do crap just because. Let's unfill this and make sure I didn't just stick a via right over something important, because that wouldn't be the first time I've done that. So that's cool. Don't put vias right over the freaking traces. That one here, we could move that just to get it out of the silk screen. It's not going to harm anything. I should have looked at this first. Dot, 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 dot. Yeah, that's fine. That's close, but who cares? Okay, and then refill. 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 There we go. So now we've got ground everywhere. Oh, I could put another one in there. Boop. Boop. Refill. Yeah. You see? And then if we go to the back copper, we should be all pretty good. You see? So what's next? I think that's really kind of it. We want to put some name on here. So Control B to unfill it makes life a little bit easier to see. And then you make sure that you pick your front silk screen and then your text tool. So if I want this on the front here and I want to say what this is, do I want to say it right on the front here? I think that's probably a good thing. So I'll put it right here and I'm going to say Astable Multivibrator. Pick the size. So let's hit OK first. And we'll put this right about there. Seems okay. But if you want, you could edit it. And I could say I want it 2 by 2. And maybe the thickness. Let's see what happens with the thickness. No, I like that. That's okay. And then what you do is, if you want to kind of get a better idea of it, then you can go up here to View and to your 3D viewer, Alt 3, and then you could look at it like this, right? So roll it around, zoom in, go. Do I want that right there? Astable Multivibrator. Yeah. Sure, seems okay. I guess. Yeah. Typically, I seem to have more of a habit of leaving the front clear and then I write all the information on the back. So I guess that's why I'm kind of pausing at that. Now the 2-pin header, I do want to get rid of that. I want to leave my test points, R1, R2, R3, etc. You probably want to put some values next to these so that you know what to put in here. If you did know what to put in there, we're going to change this around. So I'm actually not going to write it in because that's part of the test, is to make sure that you put the right values in from the schematic. So let's see. So I'll go here. I'll edit that. I'll make that invisible. And actually, you know what? Here, let me bring this back. I'll just edit it and say power input. Leave it visible, but I want it to be up a little bit more. There. Okay. Now, on the back, so I can go to the back silk screen. You see where my mouse is here. And then I can write other stuff. So I'll go here and place something right here, and I'll say, I'll just write the name again. Astable Multivibrator. Do I want to? No, I'm going to leave this as is, and I'll put this kind of down here in the corner. So this is where things are going to get kind of blurry because on the back there's nothing there. So this is totally fine, right? And then I'll do a Control D for duplicate. In PCB new, it's Control D, not C. So I'll put that right there, and I'll hit Edit, and then I'm going to say 2019. What is it? It's 10/27 currently. And then I'm going to do a space dash space and say Rev 1. That's good. But I do want to shrink this down. So I'm going to say 1 by 1 by 0.2. And that might still be, no, that's pretty good. And so then we'll move that over to here. So I think that'll be all right. Take a look at that. Alt 3. And now move this around to the back side, and then you can see Astable Multivibrator 2019 Rev 1. Okay. Now I kind of want to put a name in here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move this up here, is usually what I do, and then down here we'll have the dot dissonance name and logo down there, I guess. Sure. But I want to do something different. I want to show you something kind of, I think is kind of cool. Now, what I want to do is I want to put down here also my name. I want to put the dot dissonance name down here and the little logo I have. But what I'm going to do, instead of putting it on the back silk screen, I'm going to switch over to the back mask layer. And then what will happen is when you write your name out, it's going to keep the mask away from that. And let's see, I'll make this be 0.2, make it a bit thinner, and 2 and 2, that'll make it kind of skinny and big. I think that'll be okay. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks good. So I'll put this here, and then what'll happen is the copper will show through, except all the other places they do the hassle coating, the hot air solder leveling, right? That goes on there. So it's just kind of like it's pre-soldered a bit. So it's going to be shiny. It's going to be shiny metal silver, you see? And let's do an Alt 3. Take a look at that. We'll see that that'll be sitting right here. And then we'll stuff the logo over here. Then for my logo, what you can do is they actually have over here, they have this bitmap editor that you could use to make, like, so you make something like, say, go to Inkscape or Illustrator or something like this, get yourself some design, have it as a monochrome, as a black and white, and then you're going to convert that over, and then you can make a symbol out of it. And what you do then is you also can assign it, make it different sizes, and then you assign it to different layers. I've noticed it's kind of a bummer to change layers after it's already done. Let me kind of show you here. So I'll find here's some test logos. That one was obviously screwed up. Yeah, there's a section in there when you go to import it. It's kind of like you can hit like an inverse. Yeah, who cares? You go through that. It is kind of screwy. A long time ago I did it, and I haven't cared to come back to do it again. So I've got another one up here that is a larger size, and it's on the back mask. But what I want to do is I'll bring this one in, and I'll show you. So this is blue, and that matches the front. Right now it's currently on, yeah, it's on the front silk screen layer. Let's prove that out. Yeah, so it's on front silk screen. So what I can do is I can come back here to edit, and I can say go to the back, and it will, but now it is on the back silk screen, which could be cool, but it's not the shiny that I wanted to have, right? So I could take this, I can move this here, and by the way, this is kind of huge. I was hoping I want to maybe kind of shrink this down, but whatever. I just want to show you this. So you can go here, then we can rotate it, and we can rotate it again, kind of get it to sit there. Alt 3, and then you look at it and you say, oh yeah, there's my logo hanging out. But that's on the silk screen. That's what I don't want to have. So I want it all big and shiny, so that one's not going to work. I will go ahead and grab the other one, and that's this one here, back mask, RR, and then put that somewhere like right about here. And then this, see, things I got to spend time to do. This is, obviously, I just wrote this out, but yeah, that looks kind of okay down there, maybe. I need to get the actual logo in here. One day I gotta go do that. Okay, so then we roll that around. Now, it's kind of hard to get this, but what you're going to see is that this will all be shiny, and this will be silk screen, except you know what? I like that. I want to do it to that too. So we'll go to here, and well, let's see. Let's just do this. And you go here, and I say put it on the back mask. Done. I go here, put it on the back mask. Done deal. So now that'll be there. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and call that complete right now. But the other things that I would do normally would be to take this and then probably write yourself some notes or what this board is supposed to do in the middle. And then I would put that on silk screen just because what the hell, right? So these are kind of like the important things, like, ooh, look at that. It's an Astable Multivibrator, nice and shiny. And then just what it does, that's on the silk screen, I guess. Now, when you go ahead, if you do this and you upload it to the board houses, they will probably question you. It'll be a little pop-up. I believe I want to say Oshpark does this. He'll say, hey, there's no silkscreen on the back, just letting you know, because most people do that. But you don't need to, okay? So I hope that this little kind of afternoon walk through KiCad making a project thing worked well for everyone. Hopefully I didn't lose too many along the way. I kind of want to keep doing more of these. It's good for me. It's maybe good for everybody else in the world. And instead of doing tutorials all the time, let's just sit down and design some basic circuits. We'll go through them. Maybe you follow along with me and you ship the things out. And now we can all start developing our own little library of functional projects and textbooks that we can always refer back to whenever we need to. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.